And right now, a key hearing is taking place on Capitol Hill. The acting FAA administrator appearing before the Senate Appropriations Committee. And this comes as the air travel industry has faced some recent concerns over aging infrastructure and traffic control shortages, of course, safety. Joining us now is Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. So good to have you, Mr. Secretary. The air traffic controller, John Stewart, according to an internal safety report by the Wall Street Journal, said this, that the situation is and has been and continues to be unsafe. The amount of stress we are under is insurmountable. I know that you heard that loud and clear. What do you think has been done about it so far? Can people feel reassured about air travel?
Yeah, so first off, it is safe. We have multiple redundancies in the system, but I think what we've talked about and what controllers are seeing as well is that we have an old system, Dana. It hasn't been updated for decades. We're using really old technology. And so it's a moment in time where we have to build a brand new air traffic control system. It'll be the biggest infrastructure project that we have going on in the country, probably the most important one in 20 years we'll do in America. And we're lucky that we have a president who cares about this issue and is willing to push this department and push the Congress and also push the business sector that deals with aviation to make sure we get it done right and get it done fast. And so we need money to do that. Dana, we're going to need tens of billions of dollars from the Congress. We can't start until we get those dollars in the door. But again, Americans fly, their families fly. They want to make sure that when we see signs of issues in our air traffic control system, we actually take action and fix it and make it better for the flying public. And by the way, we can make it more efficient too. We're going to have drones in these eVTOLs, which are like Ubers in the air. The airspace is going to become more complicated. Right. We can make it more efficient with this brand new system.
Speaking of on the money you say that DOT needs, is that in the big beautiful bill or is it separate?
So we have $12 billion in the big beautiful bill. That is not enough. We'll need more. And by the way, I'll also need the Congress to clear the deck for me on permitting so we can build fast.
Okay. And one of those things about building is, for example, the runways. And Newark, one of the problems, in addition to air traffic control, was that one of the runways was down for repair. It's back up and sooner than expected. How'd you do that?
So 13 days sooner than expected. The Port Authority worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get it online faster than we anticipated. That was one of the issues that we're having in Newark. But on top of that, you've reported this. We were short on controllers in the Philly Tracon that controls the Newark airspace. We only had 22 controllers. 6 were out on leave. We have 22 controllers now in training. So they'll get certified on a rolling basis. And as they're certified, we can expand the capacity of Newark as well. Also, we had a telecom issue that caused the communication issues. We had 2 of those, one in late April, then one in early May. Verizon did a fantastic job. They laid a brand new fiber cable between Philly and New York, which was a problem line. And we're testing that now, and that should be stood up probably the end of June, early July.
One of the things...
Listen, Dana, we're working really fast. It's amazing when everyone cares and engages together, and business CEOs help us out, how fast things can happen.
And actually, the CEO of United Airlines, I'm not going to play this, but he basically said, yes, some of our tickets went down in terms of sales, but that was probably because of the press and everything. What you're here to say today is that we can all get back to traveling and feel confident about it. But before I let you go, I want to ask you about this. This is a story I've followed since I first lived in San Diego years and years ago. I think the California high-speed rail thing is so preposterous. The Wall Street Journal editorial board has covered this story for years. I read it every single time. You just came out with a report. What did you find?
So we have a 300-page report that came out that basically says the timelines and the budget for the California high-speed rail is that they can't meet them, right? And so we have $4 billion that has been authorized to go to California to build this project, and we don't want to invest in boondoggles. And so we basically found that they're not going to be able to complete the project, which I think all of Californians and all of Americans knew. But we're going to give them 30 days to respond to us. If they think we're wrong, we'll hear them out. But after that, if they don't make a good case, we're going to take that money back. I want to see high-speed rail in America. Dana, you go to Europe, they have high-speed rail everywhere, and it works. Why it can't be built in America, and why it can't be built within time frames that work for the people that invest in these projects makes no sense to me. And again, we'll look for good projects to invest in. This does not appear to be one of them. Not one high-speed track has been laid, and we're $16 billion in 17 years into the project. And again, This has all the markings of boondoggle.
Can I ask a selfish question? Could we get high-speed rail between Washington, D.C. and New York?
So listen, I've asked that question because it would be great, highly traveled. It has to be straight, and that track, meanders, from Newark to
along the coast
to Jersey. So again, if we could figure out how all the players come together and we get a straight line between the two cities, yes. But it's more complicated than just saying money. We need, it's going to take time to do that.
All right.
But it'd be wonderful if we could make that happen, Dana.
I still have a dream. You didn't quash it completely. All right, Sean Duffy, Secretary of Transportation. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Dana.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.